that they had a private conversation saying, hey, you need to get your confidence back to where it was just prior to the hiatus.
A great point. And Jaren Jackson Jr. left.
Now, that's the play you're talking about. They're just trying to meet him at the rim and use their length to make it tough. Brandon Ingram will draw a foul. Diversity of the league represented in those jerseys and the things on the back. German, Slovenian, Latvian, Spanish, even Maori, which is the...
2:20 to go in the first quarter. Jaren Jackson Jr. a couple of games ago at 33, drives to the cup.
Talking about trying to get together.
Slip screen by Clark inside and finishes with the slam.
Not bad when you're a big man. Jaren Jackson has that kind of vision. Face
in the 9-hole right now. They lead them by 2 games. So that would trigger a play-in scenario if it stood, as Grayson Allen.
Kind of Grizzlies basketball do you need to see in the second quarter?
Yeah, we just need more edge on the defensive end. They go out to a big lead there. We had to call timeout twice in the first quarter. I thought we did a better.
At 6, I felt like the game changed. I thought that was an interesting point, Mark. He said to Malika, it's a quiet gym. We've got to find our energy, and a little less so in the appropriately named Big Easy.
Yeah.
But it actually isn't just the gaming in the hotel room. Did you know that Josh Hart is actually the reigning bowling champion on the Pelicans now? When the group went bowling.
Under 2.5 to go. Morant wants it back. Jaren Jackson Jr. with the mismatch. Too little. Holiday couldn't defend him.
Yeah, good.
Get the stop. Jaren Jackson Jr. with those long strides. Draws the foul first half. Both these teams 0-2 coming into play here tonight. Jaren Jackson Jr. from deep. And after that 33-point outburst in the first game, his 3-point shooting has fallen off a little bit. J.J. Redick missing the 3. Under a minute to go. Kyle Anderson. Jackson kicks it out to Morant. John Morant of 35% run, so he continues to be a key piece off the bench. Grizzlies with possession to start the third quarter. Morant. Jaren Jackson Jr. hit the side of the back and he blew his tire. He came out of his shoe after landing. At least he didn't go through it like he did back in college at Duke.
Raptors will be a tough out.
Out of the timeout. Memphis down 11. Jackson Jr. with a great spin and left-handed finish. Man, 8 points in the ball game to go along with a rebound and a couple of assists for him. Lonzo Ball. Zion on the move. Met up top by... Back to a 7-point contest. Great ball fake by Ingram. Off the turnover, Kyle Anderson. Up to Brooks. And a follow by Anderson. So good hustle by the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies can make it a 3-point game here. Jaren Jackson Jr. with that familiar spin move. This time he missed on the finish. Frank Jackson going to be running the point now. Jackson Hayes exploded to the rim, and Jaren Jackson
base to get Valanciunas off the post a little bit.
Off the kick out. Jackson Jr. drills it.
Now listen, he had a...
The lead is down to 5. John Morant hasn't had a great game shooting the ball. Finds his shooter on the wing, and Jackson had it right. Pelicans lead the NBA in pace. Jaren Jackson Jr. blows by Zion and finishes impressively.
How about that?
The NBA moment this year was against James Harden and the Rockets earlier this season. Made a couple of big shots, and on the way back after the second one, speaking of big shots, FedEx Forum, tell him about me. Williamson met a lot of resistance. Got 5 on 4. They got numbers. Williamson just jogging back. Jackson from deep, and rebounded by Hart. Ooh, the final period. Jaren Jackson Jr. with a nice post up over the top of Drew Holiday.
They're not going to go away. This is a team that has faced its shares.
Obviously, by the look of it, 100% healthy now and on the move. Jackson Jr. couldn't finish that time, and back comes Josh Hart.
You know, you're anticipating him going to the strong side, and he's like, no, you know, I'm going to take you base.
He is so dynamic. Jackson, meanwhile, spins in for the bucket. January. Ball. Williamson couldn't convert at the other end off the errant pass. 30 seconds to go. Great anticipation by Holiday. That's why he's NBA All-Defensive.